Hey everyone, Oak Norton here with Scripture Notes. I thought I would do a quick tutorial on something that came up this morning. My wife asked me how she would go about studying the word contrite in the scriptures. So if we go over to our Scripture Notes and do a search for the word contrite, we get 24 results. We can see there's 4 in the Old Testament, 8 in the Book of Mormon, and 12 in the Doctrine and Covenants. And so I said the first thing that I would do is I would double click the word contrite and punch up the Webster's 1828 dictionary definition. And, I've got a definition here. I can take this and copy that into memory with Control C, come over here. And actually, one thing that I'm going to start off doing here is I'm going to create a collection note from those verses, because that gives me a space here to put my notes and across the topic. And so that's the first thing I do. I can close my search window now. And in here, I could give this, a title like contrite and save that and stuff. But the thing I'm going to look at next here is, as I'm looking at these, I see 2 in Psalms and 2 in Isaiah, and then we jump into the Book of Mormon. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first verse in Psalms and I'm going to punch our links button and go to the Blue Letter Bible. And when we get here, I'm going to punch the Strong's Concordance references, and I'm going to go to this word contrite because I want to know, what does that mean in Hebrew? So if you're searching in the Old Testament in the Blue Letter Bible, you're going to get the Hebrew. And if you go to the New Testament, you're going to get the Greek definition of words. And so this is the same if you're in the Old or New Testament. You can look up any word this way and see what the original Hebrew or Greek word was. In this case, it's dakah. You can see that on the screen here. And if you want to have it pronounced by a professional, you just click this little audio link and somebody will repeat that word a couple of times for you. But this is the word as it was in the original or oldest Hebrew that we have. Now, interestingly, if you look at this particular word is translated 3 times in the King James Version of the Bible, twice as contrite and once as destruction. And so we can come down here and see Strong's definition for this particular word is crushed, literally to powder, or figuratively contrite, destruction. So something's being just crushed and destroyed. And if we go down here further, we'll see the 3 instances of this word as it is translated in the Old Testament. 2 in Psalms, 1 in Isaiah. So here's contrite, here's destruction, here's contrite. And when I saw this morning talking to my wife, the first thing that I thought of was, wait a minute, we just found 4 instances of contrite in the Old Testament. And so I immediately knew, well, we've got additional definitions that we can be looking at and see how else it's used. So I see this one's Psalms 34. And so I come back here and I say, well, Psalms 51, 17 is the next one. Let's see how this particular word contrite is written by the author. So we go again to our links and Blue Letter Bible and click the button here for Strong's. And we look at contrite. It's H1794. The one up here is 1793, which is dakah. So now we go to, where do I go here? Contrite 1794, and it's dakah. So a little bit different definition. And in this case, that word appears 5 times in the King James Version of the Bible. I should say it's translated 5 times in the King James Version of the Bible, 3 times as break, once as contrite, and once as crouch. So that adds 1 more contrite to our listing. And in this case, we can see that this word means to collapse physically or mentally, to break, soar, contrite, crouch. And so again, we can come down here and see these individual words being used and, kind of take that definition that we just read about being, collapsing physically or mentally and apply it to these verses. Okay, so now let's go back because we still haven't gotten the Strong's definition for this last one. And so we'll go back to Blue Letter Bible, click Strong's, and for this verse, we're going to click, it's H5223. And this word is nake. And so this one means, let's see here, maimed, literally maimed, or figuratively dejected. And among its uses, it's been translated twice as lame and once as contrite. And again, we could come down here and look at these. See, his son was lame, which is lame on his feet. And then even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit. So someone that might be literally maimed or figuratively dejected. And if you think about what contrite is implying, a sorrow for sin, you would feel dejected. And these other ones, crushed by the weight of your sin and so on. So what I would do if I was studying this is I would take all these definitions and bring back here a collection of them to put into my collection note. And the reason is when I come down here and start studying the Book of Mormon and the Doctrine and Covenants verses, I don't have Strong's Concordance to go to. And when I look at the word contrite, if I come down here toward the bottom, I can hit Control F and type contrite, and it'll highlight each of those words. If I start looking at how these words are used, I'm not immediately going to know, like, well, what was the Hebrew or Greek behind that? Because there isn't any. And so I have to kind of take a look at what the other definitions of that word are and try and apply them to maybe what these words, how they're being used. Is this crushed, maimed, mentally, crushed in? Now, there's one other thing that I'll show you here. One of these words I noticed as we were doing this, it comes from a root word. Okay, so this isn't the root word that we're looking at, but 1792 is the root word. So if we click this, we can see that this word, dakah, is used 18 times or translated 18 times in the King James Version, and once as contrite, and then all these other words here: break in pieces, crush, bruise, destroy, smite, oppress, beat to pieces, humble. So we could also look at these, and again, it's just another way to study. There's one other thing that I haven't shown you here, which is we could have started with this. If I typed the word contrite into the Blue Letter Bible search, it would actually bring up those same references. I could punch Strong's, and now each of those are here: 1793, 4, there's 3, there's 1792, there's 5223. So each of those, I could hold down on my control key and click on those and open them up. And it would be very instructive to do this with, like, broken heart, contrite spirit, and look at what each of those words means, and then bring it back to my scripture notes, search for those words, and apply that meaning to each of the other instances of that word. So hopefully that gives you a little bit better idea of some things that you can try as you're trying to get to the meaning of words and phrases in the scriptures, and then learn how to take notes and apply them to the other verses. If this was helpful, leave a comment and let me know if there's something else that you'd like to see, and I'll do that next time. Thanks for watching.